Hello, everyone. Welcome to Today English podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get daily tips that will help you improve your English step by step. Imagine you walk into a warm and welcoming restaurant. The moment you step inside, you notice the soft lighting, the pleasant smells from the kitchen, and the cozy atmosphere. Everything feels comfortable and you immediately feel relaxed. You look around, noticing tables neatly arranged and people enjoying their meals. You take a deep breath and get ready to speak English in a calm, confident way. Even if talking in a restaurant seems a little tricky, the language you need is actually very simple when you know how to use it. The first part of your conversation usually starts when the server comes to your table. This is often the greeting. Greetings are very important because they help create a polite and friendly atmosphere between you and the server. For example, the server may say, "Good evening. How many people are joining you today, or do you already have a reservation?" These are basic questions, but they're used in almost every restaurant, so it is useful to know how to answer them clearly. You can reply with full sentences to show confidence and make sure the server understands you. For instance, you could say, "Yes, I have a reservation under the name Daniel," or "We are 2 people and we would like a quiet table near the window." Using complete sentences helps you sound polite and makes it easier for the server to know exactly what you want. Once you sit down, the server brings the menu. Now the conversation moves to choosing your food. If you are unsure what to order, you can politely ask for recommendations. Simple questions like, "What dishes do you recommend today?" or "Which meals are the most popular with customers?" sound natural and polite. They show that you are interested in the restaurant's best options. If you have special dietary needs, it is important to explain them clearly and kindly. You could say, "I have a food allergy and want to make sure this dish does not contain nuts," or "I prefer vegetarian meals. Could you tell me which options are suitable for me?" These statements help the server understand your needs so you can feel safe and enjoy your meal. When you are ready to order, speak in full sentences to sound polite and confident. For example, "I would like the grilled chicken with vegetables," or "I want to try the pasta, but I prefer it without cheese." Adding polite phrases makes your conversation even better. You can say, "Could you please bring me a glass of water?" or "May I have some extra napkins, please?" These expressions show respect, and servers usually appreciate polite customers. While waiting for your food, you may need the server again. Maybe you want more water or have a question about your meal. You can get their attention politely by making eye contact or gently raising your hand. There is no need to shout or wave wildly. A simple smile and a polite gesture are enough for the server to notice you. When they come back to your table, continue speaking in a calm and respectful way, just like before. Restaurant conversations may seem challenging at first, but with practice, you will feel more comfortable. The key is to stay polite, speak clearly, and use complete sentences. With these simple strategies, you can enjoy your meal and communicate confidently in any restaurant you visit. Sometimes, while waiting for your food, you may need to ask the server a question or request something else. You can do this politely by saying, "Excuse me, may I speak with you for a moment?" or "I would like to check on my order," if possible. These short, respectful sentences are easy to remember and help you get what you need without sounding rude or impatient. When your food arrives, it is always polite to say thank you. A simple "thank you very much" shows respect and makes the interaction friendly. If your food is not exactly what you expected, it is important to explain politely. For example, you can say, "Excuse me, I ordered the pasta without cheese, but it has cheese. Could you please make a small change?" Saying it this way is polite and makes it easy for the server to help you. By following these simple steps, greeting politely, asking questions clearly, ordering confidently, and speaking respectfully, you can enjoy your restaurant experience and feel confident speaking English in any situation. The most important thing is to stay calm, use complete sentences, and remember that servers are happy to help polite customers. Imagine you are sitting in a restaurant, enjoying your meal, and everything feels calm and pleasant. Sometimes, the food you ordered may not look exactly as you expected. In these situations, it is important to speak politely and clearly. You could say something like, "I ordered the salmon, and this looks like a different dish," or "the steak is a bit undercooked, and I would appreciate it if it could be cooked a little more." These sentences are polite, easy to understand, and help the server know exactly what you need without causing any tension. After you finish eating, it is time for the final part of the restaurant conversation, asking for the bill. You can do this politely by using complete sentences. For example, you might say, "Could I have the bill when you have a moment?" Or, "I am ready to pay, and I would like the check, please." If you want to pay by card, you can say, "I would like to pay by card, and I want to confirm if the machine is working." If you plan to leave a tip, you can mention it politely, like, "I would like to leave a tip." You can also ask the server to add the tip to your card payment. Speaking clearly and politely at this stage shows respect and good manners. Even though restaurant conversations may seem advanced, you can handle them easily with calm, polite, and complete sentences. Using this way of speaking shows confidence and good communication skills. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will feel in any restaurant or dining situation in an English-speaking country. Speaking politely also helps you feel relaxed because you know you're expressing yourself correctly. Restaurants can also be a place to enjoy friendly conversation. After ordering or while waiting for your food, it is normal to engage in small talk with the server or your dining companions. Simple questions like, "How is your day going?" or "Is this your first time at this restaurant?" make the experience more enjoyable and social. Friendly interactions give you a chance to practice English naturally, especially when the restaurant staff are welcoming. Sometimes you may have questions about the menu while waiting. You can ask politely, for example, "I am interested in this dish. Could you tell me what ingredients it contains?" Or, "How is this dish usually served?" Asking questions in this way shows curiosity, helps you learn more about the food, and gives you more practice speaking politely in English. When your food arrives, it is polite to comment and show appreciation. Simple sentences like, "This looks wonderful, thank you," or "Everything smells delicious, and I am excited to try it," are easy to remember and sound friendly. After tasting your food, you can give compliments politely. For example, "You cooked the vegetables perfectly. They are tender, but still have a nice crunch," or "The pasta is flavorful, and the sauce has a great balance of herbs." Speaking like this allows you to share your opinion clearly while remaining polite. During the meal, you might want small adjustments or extra items. You can ask politely with sentences like, "Could I get a side of bread with my meal?" or "I would like an extra serving of sauce if possible." Using full sentences ensures your request is clear and easy to understand, and it helps you practice combining words naturally in conversation. Sometimes you may notice something missing at your table. You can politely ask for it by saying, "Excuse me, could you bring some salt and pepper, please?" Or, "I would like another glass of water if it is not too much trouble." These sentences are polite, helpful, and teach you cultural etiquette, which is important in dining situations. Small, polite requests make your overall dining experience smoother and more comfortable. Many restaurants offer daily specials or new dishes. It is polite to ask the server for more details. For example, "Could you tell me more about today's special?" Or, "I am curious about the chef's recommendation for today." When the server explains, you can continue asking polite follow-up questions about ingredients, portion sizes, or whether the dish is spicy. These questions help you practice complete sentences while showing interest and attentiveness. Engaging in conversation during your meal is not only helpful for communication, but it also improves your English naturally. Every question, comment, or request gives you a chance to use polite expressions and practice speaking in full sentences. Over time, these small conversations will become easier and feel natural. You will learn how to combine words and phrases smoothly, making your English sound confident and friendly. By the end of the meal, you will notice that speaking politely, using complete sentences, and practicing friendly conversation not only helps you communicate better, but also makes your restaurant experience more enjoyable. You will feel confident ordering food, asking questions, giving compliments, making requests, and paying the bill. With practice, these simple restaurant conversations will feel natural, and you will enjoy both the food and the friendly interactions around you. Asking questions, expressing appreciation, and commenting on the food are all important parts of the restaurant experience. These simple actions help you communicate well in English and also make your meal more enjoyable. Restaurants are excellent places to practice English in real-life situations. While you are there, you also learn about manners, culture, and polite social interactions. With regular practice, you will feel confident asking questions, making requests, and sharing your opinions in any English-speaking restaurant. For example, when the server or a friend suggests a dish, it is polite to respond with appreciation. You could say, "That sounds amazing, and I would like to try it," or "Thank you for the suggestion. I think I will order that." These simple sentences help you practice listening carefully, responding politely, and speaking in full sentences. Showing appreciation makes the conversation smooth and friendly. When dining with friends or family, conversations often move from the food itself to more general topics. This is a perfect opportunity to practice asking and answering questions naturally. You might ask, "Have you been to this restaurant before?" or "What is your favorite dish here?" These questions encourage natural conversation and allow you to practice using the past tense and descriptive adjectives. You can also describe your own dining experience using complete sentences, such as, "I have tried many dishes here, and I think the pasta is my favorite," or "The atmosphere is very pleasant, and the music makes the place feel relaxing." Practicing sentences like these helps you speak confidently while sharing your opinions politely. Sometimes, you may want to compliment the chef or the restaurant in a more formal way. You could say, "I want to express my appreciation for the excellent meal," or "Please convey my compliments to the chef because the food was outstanding." These sentences may feel a little advanced, but they are very useful. They help you practice formal expressions suitable for public or professional settings. Complimenting politely also shows cultural awareness, which is important in English-speaking countries. If something goes wrong with your meal, it is important to handle it politely and clearly. For example, if you receive the wrong dish, you can say, "Excuse me, I think I received the wrong meal. Could you please check my order?" Or, "I ordered the grilled salmon, but this looks like a chicken dish." If a dish is undercooked, you can politely explain, "The steak is a bit undercooked for my preference. Could it be cooked a little more, please?" These sentences are polite, clear, and effective. They show that you can handle problems confidently without being rude. Using full sentences during all parts of a meal, whether ordering, asking questions, making requests, giving compliments, or handling problems, helps you practice polite and complete English in real-life situations. Speaking politely and clearly demonstrates respect, confidence, and cultural awareness. Dining at a restaurant gives you the chance to practice many English skills, asking questions about the menu, describing your food, sharing opinions about the atmosphere, and having friendly conversation. Every interaction, from thanking the server to complimenting the chef, is an opportunity to practice English in a comfortable and realistic way. The more you use polite sentences, the easier it becomes to communicate naturally and confidently in any English-speaking dining environment. By using polite phrases, full sentences, and descriptive language, you can make restaurant conversations enjoyable and effective. You will feel confident ordering, interacting with staff, and sharing your opinions. Over time, speaking politely and clearly will become second nature, helping you feel relaxed and capable in any restaurant or social dining situation. Sometimes, after receiving your meal, you may notice a small problem. In that case, it is important to speak politely and clearly. You could say, "Could it be cooked a little more?" Or, "I believe my pasta is missing some ingredients. Could you please check it?" Using full sentences like this helps you practice problem-solving language politely and confidently. Speaking politely shows respect and makes it easier for the server to help you. After finishing your meal, asking for the bill is the natural next step. You can say, "When you have a moment, may I have the check, please?" Or, "I am ready to pay. Could you bring the bill?" If you want to pay by card, you can add sentences like, "I would like to pay by card. Could you tell me if there is a place to add a tip?" Or, "I would like to split the bill between 2 people. Is that possible?" These sentences are practical for real-life situations and help learners combine polite requests with transactional English. They are very useful in restaurants and other service settings. When the meal is over, it is polite to thank the server and leave a compliment. You can say, "Thank you very much for your service. It was excellent," or, "I really enjoyed the meal and the experience. Please thank the chef for me." These sentences are polite, respectful, and show appreciation for good service. After finishing your meal, it is polite to thank the server and leave a compliment. You can say, "The food was excellent," or, "I really enjoyed my meal. Please give my compliments to the chef." Using these phrases helps you finish the conversation politely and leave a positive impression. Small talk on your way out is another chance to practice English in a friendly and natural way. For example, you can say, "I hope you have a great evening," or, "It was a pleasure dining here. I will come back soon." These phrases make your interaction feel warm and social, and they help you gain confidence speaking English in everyday situations. Restaurants are also great for practicing reservations in advance. You can call the restaurant and begin politely by saying, "Hello, I would like to make a reservation for 2 people this Friday evening," or, "I want to reserve a table for a birthday celebration next week." You can ask about availability using full sentences, such as, "Do you have a table near the window?" or, "Is it possible to sit outside?" When confirming your reservation, you can continue using complete sentences like, "Yes, I would like to confirm my reservation for Friday at 7 p.m. under the name Daniel." Using full sentences in these situations helps you sound confident, polite, and professional. Practicing all parts of a restaurant experience, ordering food, asking questions, handling problems, paying the bill, giving compliments, making small talk, and even booking a reservation, gives learners many chances to use complete, polite, and natural English sentences. Speaking clearly and respectfully in all these situations builds confidence and helps you communicate effectively over time. By using polite expressions, full sentences, and descriptive language, you can handle any restaurant situation with confidence. From asking questions about the menu, making requests, giving compliments, handling minor problems, making reservations, to engaging in small talk, you will have all the tools you need to communicate clearly and politely. Practicing these sentences often will make speaking English in restaurants or other social dining settings comfortable, natural, and enjoyable. When making a reservation over the phone, it is important to speak politely and clearly. You can say, "Thank you. I will arrive at 7 p.m. and I am looking forward to dining with you." Using full sentences like this helps learners practice polite phone language and shows respect, making a good impression. In more advanced situations, you can practice asking about menu items in detail. For example, you can ask, "What ingredients are in the seafood risotto?" Or, "Is the sauce homemade or store-bought?" These questions help you understand your food better and expand your vocabulary. When the server explains, it is polite to respond with interest and appreciation. You might say, "That sounds delicious, and I think I will try it," or "Thank you for the information. I would like to order that dish." Using full sentences in this way makes your conversation polite and natural while helping you learn new words. Drinks and beverages are also common topics in restaurants. You can ask for recommendations politely. For example, "Could you recommend a wine that goes well with fish?" Or, "I would like a non-alcoholic cocktail." What options do you have? When the server suggests something, you can respond in complete sentences, such as, "That sounds perfect. I will try the white wine," or "Thank you. I think I will have the fresh lemonade." Practicing these sentences builds confidence in ordering drinks politely and making choices in English. Desserts are another part of restaurant conversation. You can ask politely, "What desserts do you recommend?" Or, "I would like to see the dessert menu, please." When choosing a dessert, you can use full sentences like, "I will have the chocolate cake with ice cream," or "Could I try the fruit tart? It looks delicious." After tasting your dessert, it is good practice to comment politely. For example, "This cake is rich and flavorful," or "The tart has a perfect balance of sweetness and tartness." These sentences help learners describe tastes and textures clearly while practicing polite conversation. You can also express your preferences in a friendly and respectful way. For example, "I prefer chocolate desserts over fruit desserts," or "I usually enjoy light and fresh flavors after a meal." Using full sentences to express preferences helps you communicate clearly and politely, and it allows others to understand your opinions easily. Practicing all these types of restaurant conversations, ordering food and drinks, asking about ingredients, choosing desserts, commenting politely, expressing preferences, gives learners many opportunities to use complete sentences, expand vocabulary, improve pronunciation, and build confidence. By using polite expressions and full sentences regularly, you will be able to speak clearly, naturally, and confidently in any dining situation. With regular practice, conversations about food, drinks, and desserts will feel easy and natural. You will be able to ask questions, make requests, give compliments, express preferences, and engage in small talk with confidence. Over time, restaurant conversations will become enjoyable, effective, and a valuable way to improve your English. In a restaurant, it is important to make requests, express preferences, and give compliments politely. Speaking in this way not only improves your English, but it also helps you feel confident and relaxed in social dining settings. Restaurants are excellent places to practice real-life English while enjoying a meal, interacting with staff, and engaging in conversation with friends or family. When ordering food, it is important to express your preferences clearly and politely. For example, you can say, "I prefer my steak medium rare, if possible," or "I usually enjoy lighter meals in the evening." These sentences help learners practice polite ways of expressing what they like. You can also ask questions about portion sizes to understand how much food you will get. For instance, you might ask, "Is the portion large enough for 2 people to share?" Or, "How many servings does this dish provide?" These questions help you learn useful vocabulary and practice real-life English. Simple restaurant conversations also include expressions of gratitude and polite farewells. It is always good to thank the staff for their service. You can say, "Thank you for your excellent service. It made my meal very enjoyable," or "I appreciate your patience and kindness during my visit." When leaving the restaurant, you can add polite phrases like, "Have a great evening," or "I look forward to coming back soon." These sentences reinforce polite and socially appropriate communication, which is very important for advanced English learners. Sometimes unexpected situations occur, such as a change in your order or a special request. In these cases, it is important to speak politely and clearly. For example, you can say, "I realized I forgot to mention I am allergic to peanuts. Could you adjust my meal?" Or, "I would like to switch my order from chicken to fish. Is that possible?" Using full sentences like this allows learners to practice polite problem-solving language and teaches them how to remain calm and respectful in real-life situations. Advanced learners can also practice storytelling and sharing experiences in a restaurant. This helps develop narrative skills and use of the past tense. For example, you can say, "When I visited this restaurant last year, I tried their special seafood platter, and it was amazing." Or, "My friends and I often come here for lunch because the food is consistently fresh and delicious." These sentences allow you to describe past experiences, use descriptive adjectives, and speak confidently about your dining stories. In some situations, you may want to ask the server for recommendations. Asking politely shows interest and helps you practice conversational English. For example, you can say, "Could you recommend a dish that is popular today?" Or, "What do you suggest for someone who enjoys light meals?" When the server responds, it is polite to answer with appreciation and interest, such as, "That sounds perfect. I would like to try it," or "Thank you for the suggestion. I will order that dish." These interactions give learners opportunities to practice active listening, polite responses, and full sentences. Using these strategies, expressing preferences, asking about portions, giving thanks, handling unexpected situations, sharing stories, and asking for recommendations helps learners feel confident and comfortable in restaurant settings. Speaking politely and clearly in all situations shows respect, improves communication, and makes dining experiences more enjoyable. Restaurants are excellent environments to practice advanced English in real-life social settings while enjoying good food and interacting with others. When visiting a restaurant, you can also ask for recommendations for future visits. This helps you plan ahead and shows polite interest. You can say, "Could you tell me which dishes are best for the next visit?" Or, "I would like to know if there are any seasonal specials coming soon." These sentences help learners practice future tense and polite questioning while engaging naturally with restaurant staff. Learning to combine questions, statements, and expressions of gratitude in full sentences makes your communication more fluent and confident. During your meal, it is common to have longer conversations with your dining companions. This is a great opportunity to practice asking questions and expressing opinions in full sentences. For example, you might ask, "What do you think of the flavor of this dish?" Or, "How is your pasta? Is it cooked well?" These sentences encourage learners to describe tastes, textures, and overall impressions clearly. You can also make polite comparisons, such as, "I think the grilled chicken is lighter and more flavorful than the pasta," or "The seafood platter has more variety, and the sauce complements the dish perfectly." These comparisons help learners practice adjectives, descriptive language, and expressing opinions clearly. It is also useful to talk about the restaurant environment. You can comment politely on the ambience, music, and decoration. For example, you might say, "The ambience here is very relaxing. Do you often come here?" Or, "I really like the music. It makes the place feel comfortable." If you notice something interesting, you can add, I like the decoration on the walls. It adds a nice touch. Talking about the surroundings in a polite way makes your conversation more natural and enjoyable. In a restaurant, it is important to notice details and describe them politely. For example, you might say, "The lighting is perfect for a dinner conversation." These sentences help learners practice observational language and polite commentary while keeping the conversation natural and engaging. Sometimes, servers may offer suggestions for food pairings, drinks, or side dishes. It is important to respond politely using full sentences. For example, you can say, "Thank you for your suggestion. I think I will try the white wine with my fish," or "I appreciate your advice. I will have the side salad as recommended." Using complete sentences shows respect, makes the conversation smooth and friendly, and helps learners practice combining polite responses with new vocabulary. In addition to talking with staff, engaging with your dining companions is also important. You can ask questions like, "Which dish do you like the most?" or "Would you recommend this dessert for next time?" You can describe your own experience politely. "I really enjoyed this seafood platter. The flavors were very fresh and balanced," or "The pasta was delicious, but I think I prefer the chicken next time." These sentences help learners practice expressing opinions, sharing experiences, and giving recommendations in polite, natural English. Practicing conversations like these, asking for future recommendations, describing food and ambience, responding to suggestions, and talking with companions helps learners communicate fluently in restaurants. Using polite, full sentences, descriptive language, and active listening makes dining more enjoyable and helps learners feel confident. Over time, these skills will become natural, allowing learners to speak clearly and politely in any social or dining situation. Restaurants become a perfect place to practice real-life English, from asking questions and making comparisons to expressing appreciation and engaging in friendly conversation. When a server gives you a suggestion, it is polite to respond with a complete sentence. For example, you can say, "I think the wine you suggested will go well with the fish," or "I appreciate the suggestion. I will try the side salad along with my main dish." Using full sentences when responding helps learners practice conversational English with clarity and confidence. It also teaches how to acknowledge information politely and show interest in recommendations. When dining with friends or colleagues, it is common to talk about shared experiences. You can say, "This dish is perfect for sharing. It has enough for all of us," or "I really like the variety of flavors in the appetizers." It makes sharing more enjoyable. These sentences help learners practice plural nouns, quantifiers, and polite expressions in social dining situations. You can also discuss portion sizes politely. For example, "The servings here are quite generous. We might not finish everything," or "I think the dessert portions are small, but very rich and flavorful." These sentences give learners practical vocabulary that is useful for everyday restaurant conversations. Talking about portions helps learners describe quantities politely and naturally. Advanced learners can also practice expressing preferences in a polite way. For example, "I generally prefer lighter meals in the evening, so I will choose the salad," or "I usually enjoy spicier dishes, but I will try the mild option today." These sentences allow learners to practice sharing personal preferences while staying polite and conversational. It is also important to ask questions about ingredients or how food is prepared. For example, "Does this dish contain dairy products?" or "Is the sauce prepared fresh in the kitchen?" These questions help learners expand their vocabulary and practice asking for clarification politely in full sentences. Speaking clearly and politely in these situations makes it easier to get the information you need and shows respect for the staff. When the server brings the check, it is common to confirm payment details politely. For example, you can say, "I would like to pay by card. Is it possible to add a tip to the total?" Or, "I would like to split the bill between two people. Is that okay?" These full sentences allow learners to practice transactional English in real-life situations, combining politeness with practical communication. Asking about payment options politely ensures smooth interactions and helps learners feel confident handling money in English-speaking environments. Using complete sentences in all parts of a restaurant visit, responding to advice, talking about shared experiences, discussing portions, expressing preferences, asking about ingredients, and confirming payment helps learners speak naturally and confidently. Practicing these phrases regularly builds fluency, politeness, and social confidence. It also teaches learners how to handle different dining situations, from casual meals with friends to formal dining experiences. With continued practice, learners can combine descriptive language, polite expressions, and complete sentences to communicate clearly in restaurants. This makes dining more enjoyable and allows learners to interact smoothly with both staff and companions. Every restaurant experience is an opportunity to practice real-life English, expand vocabulary, and improve social and conversational skills. When dining with a group, it is common to split the bill. You can ask politely, "Could you please split the bill between 3 people?" Or, "Can we divide the payment among 4 cards?" These sentences are practical for real-life situations and help learners practice transactional English in a polite and clear way. Using full sentences ensures your request is understood and shows respect for the staff. It is also important to express appreciation for the service. You can say, "Thank you very much for your attention. Everything was excellent," or, "I really appreciate your help. The service was very friendly and efficient." Using complete sentences like these helps learners practice polite expressions and maintain good manners in formal or casual dining situations. Gratitude is an important part of communication in English-speaking cultures. Sometimes learners need to ask about restaurant policies or special services. You can ask, "Do you accept reservations for large groups?" Or, "Is it possible to order takeout if I cannot finish my meal?" These sentences give learners practice with conditional forms and polite questioning. You can also inquire about payment options. "Do you accept credit cards?" Or, "Can I pay with contactless payment?" Asking these questions helps learners feel confident and prepared for different situations in modern restaurants. Describing your experience during or after the meal is another important skill. You can say, "The salmon was cooked perfectly and the sauce had a wonderful flavor," or, "I really enjoyed the dessert. The chocolate cake was rich and moist." Using full sentences like these allows learners to practice narrative skills, descriptive adjectives, and clear expression. You can also make polite comparisons. "This restaurant is more comfortable than the one we visited last week," or, "I think the service here is faster and more attentive than other restaurants I have been to." These sentences help learners practice comparative forms while speaking naturally. Another useful skill is practicing questions and responses for follow-up visits. You can ask, "Could you tell me which dishes are most popular for future visits?" Or, "Are there any seasonal specials coming soon?" These questions help learners use the future tense and polite forms in conversation. You can also combine questions with appreciation. "Thank you for your help. I am looking forward to trying these dishes next time." This shows politeness and interest, which is valued in English-speaking cultures. Overall, practicing splitting the bill, giving thanks, asking about policies, describing experiences, and planning future visits helps learners communicate fluently and confidently in restaurants. Using complete sentences, polite expressions, and descriptive language makes interactions smooth, professional, and enjoyable. By practicing these situations, learners can feel comfortable handling real-life dining scenarios, whether they are eating with friends, colleagues, or family. Restaurants become excellent places to practice practical English, build confidence, and develop social and conversational skills while enjoying meals. When visiting a restaurant, it is useful to ask about popular dishes or seasonal specials. You can say, "Which dishes are usually popular in the summer?" or "I would like to know if you have any seasonal specials next month." These sentences allow learners to practice future tense and polite inquiry forms. When the server answers, it is polite to respond with appreciation. "Thank you. I will definitely try that next time," or "That sounds delicious. I am looking forward to my next visit." These interactions help learners practice combining questions, responses, and expressions of gratitude in full sentences, which is important for advanced English fluency. Learners can also practice conversations about beverages, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. For example, you can say, "I would like a glass of red wine. Which one do you recommend?" Or, "Could you suggest a refreshing non-alcoholic drink?" When the server responds, you can reply politely with full sentences. "Thank you. I will try the Chardonnay you recommended," or "That sounds perfect. I will have the lemonade." These sentences allow learners to practice polite questioning, responses, and ordering while discussing drinks. It is also common to ask about pairings to enhance your meal. You can say, "Which wine goes best with a steak?" or "Is there a cocktail that complements the seafood dish?" These sentences help learners practice advanced conversational skills naturally, combining polite inquiry with practical vocabulary. Talking about drinks in this way helps learners learn how to make informed choices and respond politely to suggestions. Another important skill is giving compliments and sharing feedback after the meal. You can say, "I really enjoyed my dining experience. The food was excellent and the staff was very attentive," or "Please tell the chef that I love the pasta. It was cooked perfectly and seasoned well." These sentences allow learners to practice polite praise and show cultural awareness. Expressing gratitude and compliments is an important skill for learners because it allows them to use full sentences that are socially appropriate in English-speaking environments. In addition to direct dining situations, learners can practice conversations about making special requests or reservations. For example, you can call ahead and say, "I would like to reserve a table for next Friday evening," or "Could you prepare a small birthday arrangement for my friend?" These sentences help learners practice polite phone language, future tense, and making special requests. Using full sentences ensures clarity and shows respect to the restaurant staff. Practicing interactions like asking about popular dishes, ordering drinks, giving compliments, and making reservations helps learners speak naturally, politely, and confidently in restaurants. Using complete sentences in every situation allows learners to combine descriptive language, gratitude, and polite inquiry. Over time, these skills make dining experiences enjoyable and provide opportunities to practice advanced English in real-life social settings. Restaurants become not only a place to eat, but also a safe and friendly environment for learners to improve fluency, build vocabulary, and develop cultural awareness. Sometimes learners need to make special requests at a restaurant. For example, you can say, "I would like to request a birthday arrangement. Could you help me with that?" Or "Could you prepare a small cake for my friend, please?" When the restaurant staff responds, it is polite to reply with gratitude. "Thank you very much. That will make this celebration perfect," or "I appreciate your help. It means a lot." These sentences help learners practice combining requests, gratitude, and future plans in natural full-sentence conversation. Learners may also need to clarify details about ingredients or dietary preferences. You can say, I have a gluten intolerance. Could you suggest dishes that are safe for me, or I do not eat meat? Could you tell me which vegetarian options are available? When the server explains, you can respond politely with sentences like, that sounds perfect. I will choose the vegetable risotto, or thank you. I am glad there are several vegetarian options. These interactions provide excellent practice for polite questioning, understanding instructions, and expressing preferences in English. It is also useful to practice storytelling about previous restaurant visits. You can say, last week, I visited a new Italian restaurant and the pasta was amazing, or during my last visit here, I tried the grilled fish and it was very flavorful. Using past tense and descriptive sentences allows learners to practice narrative skills while keeping the conversation engaging and natural. Sharing experiences in full sentences helps learners become more confident in English-speaking social situations. You can also express expectations for future visits. For example, you can say, I hope to try the chef's special next time, or I am looking forward to visiting this restaurant again because the food is consistently excellent. These sentences reinforce fluency and confidence in advanced English conversations. Expressing future intentions politely also helps learners practice combining future tense, descriptive language, and gratitude naturally. When dining with colleagues or clients, it is common to combine polite conversation with professional language. You can say, I hope you enjoy the meal. I chose this restaurant because the food is excellent and the atmosphere is comfortable. This allows learners to practice formal expressions, polite recommendations, and professional conversation skills. Learners can also comment on the dining environment. For example, the ambience here is very pleasant. I think it is perfect for a lunch meeting, or I like the music. It makes the place feel relaxing and enjoyable. These sentences help learners use observational language politely while staying engaged in conversation. Additionally, learners can practice asking for suggestions or guidance during a business or social meal. For example, could you recommend a dish that is light but flavorful? Or which dessert do you think would be best to share among the group? When the server answers, it is polite to respond with full sentences. Thank you. That sounds perfect. I will order that, or I appreciate your advice. It helps me make a better choice. These sentences allow learners to practice polite inquiry, active listening, and expressing appreciation naturally. By practicing special requests, dietary questions, past experiences, future plans, and polite business conversation, learners develop confidence in real-life dining situations. Using complete sentences, polite expressions, and descriptive language makes conversation smooth, professional, and enjoyable. Restaurants become not only a place to eat, but also a natural environment to practice advanced English, build vocabulary, and develop social skills in a polite and culturally appropriate way. When dining with friends, colleagues, or clients, it is helpful to explain why you chose a restaurant. You can say, I chose this place because the food is highly recommended, or I wanted to choose a restaurant where we can have a relaxed discussion over lunch. These sentences help learners practice giving explanations politely and naturally while staying socially appropriate. These sentences help learners practice combining social and professional English naturally. Learners can also discuss preferences politely. For example, you can ask, do you prefer light meals or heavier dishes? Or, I thought you might enjoy the seafood platter. It is very popular. Using complete sentences like these ensures clarity and shows confidence in English communication. Advanced learners can also practice cultural comments related to dining etiquette. You can say, in some countries, it is common to leave a tip of around 15%, or I notice that the table setting here is very organized and professional. These sentences allow learners to practice cultural commentary, descriptive adjectives, and polite expressions, which are important in formal or business dining situations. It is also useful to talk about personal habits and preferences. For example, I usually try new dishes when I visit a restaurant, or I prefer to order familiar meals to make sure I enjoy them. These examples help learners practice adverbs, modal verbs, and descriptive phrases in full sentences. Practicing these structures builds confidence and allows learners to speak naturally about their dining experiences. Advanced learners should know how to politely ask for modifications to dishes. For instance, you can say, "I prefer my steak medium rare. Could you cook it slightly longer?" Or, "I would like the salad without onions." Is that possible? Using complete sentences ensures your request is clear and polite. When the server responds, you can continue with polite phrases such as, "Thank you very much. I appreciate your help," or "That sounds perfect. I will wait patiently for the adjustment." These conversations allow learners to practice conditional phrases and polite requests in real-life dining scenarios. It is important to know how to handle allergies or dietary restrictions politely. For example, you can say, "I am allergic to shellfish. Could you recommend a safe dish?" Or, "I do not eat meat. Could you suggest which vegetarian options are available?" These sentences teach learners how to communicate their needs clearly and respectfully. When the server provides advice, you can respond with full sentences like, "Thank you. That dish sounds perfect for me," or "I appreciate your help. I am glad there are safe options available." Practicing these interactions helps learners feel confident and prepared in any restaurant situation. Learners can also practice polite conversation about portion sizes and sharing food. For example, "Is this dish large enough to share between 2 people?" Or, "I think the dessert portions are small, but very rich and flavorful." These sentences help learners use quantifiers, descriptive language, and polite expressions naturally. You can also express personal preferences politely. "I generally prefer lighter meals in the evening, so I will choose the salad," or "I usually enjoy spicier dishes, but I will try the mild option today." Practicing these sentences allows learners to speak confidently about their choices while remaining polite and conversational. When dining at a restaurant, it is important to ask about dietary restrictions clearly and politely. For example, you can say, "I do not eat gluten. Which meals are suitable for me?" Asking in full sentences makes your request clear and shows respect for the server. When the server provides suggestions, it is polite to respond with appreciation. "Thank you. That option works perfectly," or, "I am glad there are alternatives. I will take that dish." These sentences are practical for real-life situations and help learners feel confident discussing personal needs in English. Learners can also practice asking for recommendations about drinks. For example, "Which cocktail do you suggest with this meal?" Or, "I would like a non-alcoholic drink. What would you recommend?" When the server gives suggestions, you can respond politely in full sentences. "Thank you. I will try the mojito," or "That sounds refreshing. I will have the lemonade." These examples help learners practice conversational exchanges about preferences while showing politeness and appreciation. It is also useful to ask about food and drink pairings. "Does this wine go well with fish?" Or, "Which beverage pairs best with this dessert?" These types of questions allow learners to expand vocabulary naturally and practice polite inquiry. Pairing questions are common in advanced English conversations and help learners sound confident in social and professional dining situations. Learners should also practice expressing opinions about the presentation of food. For example, "The dish looks very appealing. I cannot wait to try it," or "I like the way the chef arranged the vegetables. It looks beautiful." Commenting on presentation encourages learners to use descriptive adjectives, which is an important skill in advanced English restaurant conversations. It is equally important to describe taste and flavors. For instance, "The sauce is perfectly balanced, not too salty and not too sweet," or "The flavors in this dish are very complex and interesting." These sentences help learners talk naturally about sensory experiences and give detailed, polite feedback. Speaking this way improves confidence and makes conversations more engaging in English-speaking environments. During a meal, learners often need to request small additional items. For example, you can say, "Could I have an extra napkin, please?" Or, "Would it be possible to bring some salt and pepper?" These requests should always be polite and clear. Using complete sentences ensures that your communication is professional, polite, and easy to understand. Learners can also practice ordering extra servings or adjustments to dishes. For example, "I would like an extra side of bread, please," or "Could I have some more sauce with my meal?" Making these requests politely teaches learners to combine practical vocabulary, courteous expressions, and clear communication in real-life situations. It is also important to express gratitude for service. You can say, "Thank you very much for your attention. Everything was excellent," or "I really appreciate your help. The service was very friendly and efficient." Using full sentences to show appreciation not only improves English skills, but also teaches cultural etiquette in dining situations. These skills are essential for both casual and professional conversations, helping learners feel confident in any restaurant environment. When making small requests, it is useful to combine them with gratitude. For example, "Could I please have some extra utensils? Thank you very much," or "I would like a little more bread. I really appreciate it." Using full sentences like these helps learners practice politeness and smooth conversation flow. Advanced learners can also practice asking for clarification about the menu. For example, "Could you explain what ingredients are in the seafood risotto?" Or, "I am curious if the sauce on this dish is spicy." When the server answers, you can respond in full sentences. "Thank you. I understand, and I will order it," or "That sounds delicious. I think I will try that option." These conversations help learners combine asking questions, understanding information, and replying politely, which is an important skill in natural English conversations. It is also common to ask about portion sizes. For example, "Is this portion enough for 2 people to share?" Or, "How many servings does this dessert provide?" When the server answers, you can respond politely, "Perfect. We will share it between us," or "That works. We can try it together." These exchanges help learners practice numbers, quantifiers, and polite interaction while speaking confidently in English. When dining with a group, it is important to discuss preferences politely. For example, "I usually prefer lighter meals, but I am happy to share this dish," or "My friends often like spicier dishes, so I think we can order this one." These sentences help learners express their preferences while considering others, which is a key skill in social and professional English conversations. In a group setting, it is also important to ask about dietary restrictions. For example, "Does anyone have allergies?" Or, "Are there vegetarian options for everyone in our group?" Up communication skills. Expressing appreciation for service and food is another key skill. In full sentences, you can say, "Thank you very much for your help. Everything was excellent," or "I really enjoyed my meal. The staff was very friendly and efficient." Expressing gratitude and giving compliments leaves a positive impression, which is essential in both casual and formal dining situations. Learners can also practice planning and coordinating orders politely in a group. For example, "Shall we try this dish together?" Or, "I think we can share this dessert among us." These sentences help learners practice teamwork, sharing, and polite discussion in English. It is also very useful to ask about the chef's recommendations or daily specials. For example, "What is the chef's recommendation today?" Or, "Could you tell me about today's special?" When the server explains, you can respond politely with full sentences. "Thank you. That sounds amazing. I would like to try it," or "I appreciate the suggestion. I think I will order the special." These types of conversations allow learners to practice listening, understanding, and replying politely, which is important for natural English communication. It is also common to comment on the service during a meal. For example, the staff is very attentive. I am impressed, or I really appreciate how quickly the dishes were served. Complimenting the service helps learners practice descriptive words and polite expressions. You can also add, "The waiter was very friendly and helpful," or "I am glad the server explained the menu carefully." These phrases reinforce good manners and teach learners how to show appreciation, which is valued in English-speaking countries. Sometimes mistakes happen with orders, and it is important to handle them politely. For example, "Excuse me, I think I received the wrong dish. Could you check?" Or "I ordered the chicken, but this seems to be fish." When the server corrects the mistake, you can respond with full sentences like, "Thank you very much. I appreciate your help." At the end of the meal, learners can practice handling corrections politely. For example, "I appreciate your help," or "That is perfect. I am happy with the correction." These situations help learners practice problem-solving language politely, building confidence for real-life interactions. It is important to ask for the bill politely. You can say, "Could I have the check, please?" or "I am ready to pay." Other options include, "Could you bring the bill?" If paying by card, you can add, "I would like to pay by card," or "Could you split the bill between two people?" These phrases provide practice for transactional English and help learners communicate clearly and politely in real-life dining situations. Expressing gratitude and compliments when leaving is also essential. For example, "Thank you very much for your excellent service," or "I really enjoyed my meal. Please give my compliments to the chef." Using full sentences like these allows learners to end conversations politely and leave a positive impression. Learners can also include small talk while leaving, such as, "I hope you have a great evening," or "It was a pleasure dining here. I will come back soon." These phrases help learners practice social English naturally and confidently. It is useful to practice asking about special services or future visits. For example, "Do you accept reservations for large groups?" Or "Could you prepare a birthday arrangement for my friend?" When the staff responds, you can say, "Thank you very much. That will make this celebration perfect," or "I appreciate your help. It means a lot." These sentences allow learners to combine requests, gratitude, and future plans in polite, natural conversation. Learners can also practice dietary questions and menu details. For example, "I am allergic to peanuts. Could you suggest a safe dish?" or "Which vegetarian meals are available?" When the server answers, you can respond politely, "Thank you. That option works perfectly," or "I am glad there are alternatives. I will take that dish." These interactions build confidence, expand vocabulary, and teach learners to communicate personal needs politely in English. Expressing appreciation for the meal is important. You can say, "Thank you very much. The food was excellent," or "I really enjoyed everything. Please give my compliments to the chef." Practicing polite farewells is also essential. For example, "Have a great evening," or "I look forward to visiting again soon." Other examples include, "Thank you for your patience and excellent service," or "It was a pleasure dining here. I will come back soon." These sentences help learners practice natural conversation endings and cultural etiquette in English-speaking environments. Advanced learners can also practice making reservations over the phone. For example, "Hello, I would like to make a reservation for 4 people this Saturday," or "I am calling to reserve a table for a birthday celebration next week." When confirming, you can respond with full sentences. "Thank you. I will arrive at 7 p.m., or "I look forward to dining at your restaurant." These phrases allow learners to practice polite phone conversations and transactional English. It is helpful to ask about payment methods in advance. You can say, "Do you accept credit cards?" or "Is it possible to pay with contactless payment?" You can combine these questions with gratitude. Thank you. I wanted to confirm before I arrive, or I appreciate your help. I am looking forward to dining. These examples teach learners to ask practical questions politely. When discussing drinks, learners can practice ordering and responding to suggestions in full sentences. For example, I would like a glass of red wine. Which one do you recommend? Or could you suggest a refreshing non-alcoholic drink? When the server responds, you can reply politely, thank you. I will try the Chardonnay, or that sounds perfect. I will have the lemonade. You can also ask about pairings. Which wine goes best with the steak? Or is there a cocktail that complements the seafood dish? These interactions expand vocabulary, reinforce polite expressions, and develop conversational confidence. Learners can also express opinions about the restaurant atmosphere in full sentences. For example, the restaurant has a very cozy atmosphere. I feel comfortable, or I really like the lighting and music. It makes the place very relaxing. As the dining experience continues, learners can ask about the menu in more detail. For example, could you tell me what ingredients are included in this dish? Or I am curious if the sauce is homemade. When the server explains, you can respond politely. That sounds wonderful. I think I will try it, or thank you for explaining. I appreciate your help. Using complete sentences like these helps learners practice comprehension, polite questioning, and natural responses. It is also useful to ask about portion sizes respectfully. For example, is the portion enough for 2 people to share? Or how many servings does this dish provide? These sentences help learners use quantifiers and numbers accurately in English conversations. Finally, learners can compliment the presentation of food. For example, the presentation is very elegant. It makes the dish even more appetizing, or I like the way the vegetables are arranged. It looks very appealing. Commenting on presentation helps learners practice descriptive adjectives and polite observation skills. During a meal, learners can practice discussing taste in full sentences. For example, the steak is cooked perfectly. It is tender and flavorful. The sauce is balanced, not too salty or too sweet. These sentences allow learners to express sensory impressions clearly and politely, which is essential in advanced restaurant conversations. Learners can also discuss dining experiences with companions. This dish is perfect for sharing. It has enough for all of us. I really enjoy the variety of flavors in the appetizers. It makes sharing more enjoyable. These sentences help learners practice plural nouns, quantifiers, and polite expressions in social dining situations. It is useful to talk about portion sizes politely. The servings here are generous. We might not finish everything. The dessert portions are small but very rich and flavorful. These examples provide practical vocabulary for everyday restaurant conversations. Advanced learners can practice expressing personal preferences politely. I generally prefer lighter meals in the evening, so I will choose the salad. I usually enjoy spicier dishes, but I will try the mild option today. These sentences help learners share choices while remaining polite and conversational. It is also important to ask about ingredients or preparation methods. Does this dish contain dairy products? Is the sauce prepared fresh in the kitchen? When the server explains, learners can respond politely. That sounds perfect. I will choose the vegetable risotto. Thank you. I am glad there are several vegetarian options. These interactions provide excellent practice for polite questioning, understanding instructions, and expressing preferences. Learners can practice storytelling about previous restaurant visits. Last week, I visited a new Italian restaurant, and the pasta was amazing. During my last visit here, I tried the grilled fish, and it was very flavorful. Using past tense and descriptive sentences helps learners practice narrative skills while keeping conversations natural. Learners can also express expectations for future visits. I hope to try the chef's special next time. I am looking forward to visiting this restaurant again because the food is consistently excellent. These sentences reinforce fluency and confidence in advanced English conversations. Learners can also give constructive feedback and compliments politely. The pasta was cooked perfectly and the flavors were excellent. I really enjoyed the seafood platter. It was fresh and flavorful. It is common to discuss future recommendations with the staff. Could you tell me which dishes are usually popular in the summer? I would like to know if there are any seasonal specials next month. When the server responds, learners can show appreciation. Thank you. I will definitely try that next time. That sounds delicious. I am looking forward to my next visit. These interactions combine questions, responses, and expressions of gratitude in full sentences, essential for advanced English fluency. Learners can also practice conversations about beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. I would like a glass of red wine. Which one do you recommend? Could you suggest a refreshing non-alcoholic drink? When the server responds, learners can reply politely. Thank you. I will try the Chardonnay. That sounds perfect. I will have the lemonade. Learners can ask about pairings politely. Which wine goes best with the steak? Is there a cocktail that complements the seafood dish? These sentences allow learners to practice ordering drinks, discussing preferences, and politely accepting suggestions. During the meal, learners can comment on the restaurant's atmosphere and presentation. The restaurant has a very cozy atmosphere. I feel comfortable. I really like the lighting and music. It makes the place very relaxing. The artwork on the walls adds a nice touch. The table settings are very elegant and professional. These examples help learners practice descriptive language in natural conversation. Learners can ask about menu details. Could you tell me what ingredients are included in this dish? I am curious if the sauce is homemade. When the server explains, learners can respond with full sentences. That sounds wonderful. I think I will try it. Thank you for explaining. I appreciate your help. These interactions help learners practice comprehension, polite questioning, and natural responses. Learners can also comment on food presentation and taste. The presentation of the dish is very elegant. It makes the food even more appetizing. I like the way the vegetables are arranged. It looks beautiful. The sauce is perfectly balanced, not too salty and not too sweet. The flavors in this dish are complex and interesting. These sentences allow learners to practice descriptive language, sensory expressions, and polite feedback, which are essential in advanced restaurant conversations. During a meal, learners can practice sensory vocabulary and expressing opinions clearly and politely. For example, the steak is cooked perfectly. It is tender and flavorful. The dessert has a nice balance of sweetness and texture. Learners can also practice making polite requests. Could I please have some extra utensils? Thank you very much. Would it be possible to get another glass of water? I really appreciate it. Requesting modifications politely is also important. I would like the salad without onions if possible. Could the sauce be served on the side, please? These sentences help learners practice conditional requests and polite problem-solving. Advanced learners can address dietary considerations politely. I am allergic to peanuts. Could you recommend a safe dish? I have a gluten intolerance. Which meals would be suitable for me? When the server provides suggestions, learners can respond. Thank you. That option is perfect. I am glad there are alternatives. I will take that dish. These interactions build confidence in communicating personal needs politely. Learners can also practice paying the bill and expressing gratitude. Could I have the check, please? I am ready to pay. Could you split the bill between 3 people? Combine appreciation with farewells. Thank you very much. The food and service were excellent. It was a pleasure dining here. Please give my compliments to the chef. These sentences reinforce transactional English, politeness, and culturally appropriate farewells. Complimenting food and service politely is essential. The pasta was cooked perfectly and seasoned very well. I really enjoyed the grilled fish. It was fresh and flavorful. The waiter was attentive and helpful. I appreciate how clearly the menu is explained. In group dining situations, learners can practice. This dish is perfect for sharing. There is enough for everyone. I like the variety of appetizers. It makes sharing more enjoyable. Does anyone prefer lighter meals? Who would like to try dessert together? These sentences help learners practice plural nouns, quantifiers, and polite group communication. Learners can also practice future plans and recommendations. I am looking forward to trying the chef's special next time. Which dishes do you recommend for my next visit? Describing portion sizes and sharing. Is this portion enough for 2 people to share? How many servings does this dish provide? Responses: perfect. We can share it between us, / that works. We'll try it together. Expressing personal preferences and dietary needs. I usually prefer lighter meals, but I am happy to try this dish. I do not eat gluten. Could you recommend suitable options? Responses: thank you. That option works perfectly, / I'm glad there are safe alternatives. I'll take that dish. Describing sensory experiences, presentation, and taste. The vegetables are arranged beautifully. The plating makes the dish look very appetizing. The sauce is perfectly balanced, not too salty or too sweet. The flavors in this dish are complex and interesting. Beverages and pairings. Which wine pairs best with the fish? Could you suggest a refreshing non-alcoholic drink? Responses: thank you. I'll try the Chardonnay, / that sounds perfect. I'll have the lemonade. Dessert pairings. Which drink complements the chocolate cake best? / is there a recommended beverage for this dessert? Polite farewells and feedback. Thank you very much. The food and service were excellent. Please give my compliments to the chef. I hope to try the chef's special next time. I look forward to visiting this restaurant again. Have a great evening, / I enjoyed my experience. I will come back soon. This structure combines sensory vocabulary, polite requests, dietary considerations, group communication, future planning, and farewells so learners can confidently navigate all restaurant situations in English. These sentences help learners practice plural nouns, quantifiers, and polite expressions in social dining contexts. This dish is perfect for sharing. It has enough for all of us. I really enjoy the variety of flavors in the appetizers. It makes sharing more enjoyable. Learners can also practice polite requests for additional items. Could I have an extra napkin, please? Would it be possible to get another glass of water? When the server responds, learners can reply in full sentences. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. That will be perfect. Thanks for helping. These conversations reinforce politeness, clarity, and natural interaction. Learners can practice expressing dietary restrictions or allergies. I am allergic to peanuts. Could you recommend a safe dish? I do not eat gluten. Which meals would be suitable for me? When the server provides suggestions, polite responses include, thank you. That option works perfectly. I'm glad there are alternatives. I'll take that dish. These exchanges build confidence in communicating personal needs clearly and politely. Advanced learners can focus on describing sensory experiences and giving feedback. The steak is cooked perfectly and seasoned well. The dessert has a lovely balance of sweetness and texture. For presentation, learners can comment. The vegetables are arranged beautifully. The plating makes the dish look very appetizing. These sentences help learners practice descriptive adjectives, observation skills, and fluent discussion of taste and presentation. Finally, learners can practice polite compliments and farewells. Thank you very much. The food and service were excellent. Please give my compliments to the chef. Have a great evening. I look forward to visiting again soon. These interactions reinforce cultural etiquette, politeness, and natural conversation endings in English-speaking restaurants.